Hi all, Planetside Agent here. Today's my first day having breakfast on the river. It's a nice day, low wind, 50 degrees out, and it's going to warm up almost to 70 today, so it'll warm up out here, so I'm very comfortable. Anyway, I thought I'd kind of show you. Oops, the wind's blowing me. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, the breeze out here is slowly blowing the kayak into the weeds, as you can see. Down here in the slough on the Willamette River in Salem, Oregon. Anyway, I thought I'd show you kind of my setup here for when I have breakfast on the river, which in the summer I get out maybe 2, sometimes 3 times a week, and less likely in the spring, you know, when the weather's kind of iffy. So I'm going to, and this is my first time out. I'm going to be pretty whipped after my paddling arms and all are just been atrophying since last October. So anyway, yeah, the river was up about 12 feet today, and that's really clipping along. It's flat and it looks doesn't look that fast, but when you're on it, man, you just go smoking. So let that be a warning to anybody that gets on the river. It can be deceiving. Make sure you got the proper precautions. So anyway, I'll just kind of show you what I do here. This is my Wilderness Pongo 12-foot kayak, and it comes with this thing they call a console, which is pretty sweet. It's got a couple of cup holders. It's got a little waterproof hatch here, which I keep my phone and my cheapo binocs in there, and in my ever-present vibrating antacids, as I got chronic heartburn. Anyway, and here's my I think I did a video on this, my French press insulated mug that I get my coffee, and then I have a little plastic Tupperware thing that I put my lunch in. It's the console also has this little pouch here that fits my container here. I usually put a sandwich, or my favorite is peanut butter honey on sourdough, but sometimes my wife buys those super muffins, and I'll bring those sometimes for breakfast. So anyway, and sometimes I need 2 hands to get this back in here. Just a tight squeeze here. Hope this video is too sketchy. But anyway, so usually what I do is I paddle over into the slough, because, you know, I'm out of the current, and try to get back here in a little bit of shelter out of the wind if there is any, which not too much in the summer around here. But yeah, sit in the sunshine, listen to the birds, and have my breakfast, and then I usually go paddling upriver. Although it's too fast today, so I'll probably paddle into the slough, which I can get into because the water's high enough to get over the little gravel bar at the part of the slough. Anyway, so anyway, back here's my coffee. This is where I keep my breakfast, and then down here between my legs, I got my Pathfinder. Oop, can you see that? These one-handed videos are kind of not that great, but you know, sure not going to be able to set up a tripod. Well, I probably could, but it'd be impractical. Anyway, here's my Pathfinder bottle kit setup that I take with me, and I did do a separate video on this, and I'll put the link to that video, what I got in here. But yeah, I usually have it here because, you know, I got the water bottle, which is good for water and also cleaning up. Sometimes that damn honey gets away. Honey and mustard, boy, those things are insidious for getting over everything. So anyway, yeah, and then got the other stuff I need in here, which, you know, I've already used today. I had some used a little hand sanitizer, because back here in the slough, Lord knows what's in here, so I definitely want to wash my hands. So anyway, and then what I do is I slip this and I run this to the very front of the boat, and then I use the strap as a pull. When I want it, I can just pull on the strap and pull it back up to me, so I can get at it there out of the way of my feet. So yeah, that's how that works. And pretty good little setup behind me. I got my PFD behind the seat, and in the hatch in the back, the waterproof hatch, I got my little fanny pack that has the rest of my survival, first aid, and that sort of thing items in that. So I'm always prepared, even though, you know, I'm in the slough here, and if you look over, you know, the sun's going to glare, but right over there, that's the city park from downtown Salem, so it's not like I'm in the wilderness. Like if anything went bad, you know, I could just swim our way to shore and then just walk back to town. And of course, I got the phone, so assuming I had the phone, I could call. Otherwise, I could just walk home. I'm not that far. I'm only a few miles from my house down here to the boat landing. And usually it takes me less than 20 minutes from the time I leave the house until I'm on the water. So it's a pretty sweet deal. I'm quite fortunate to live here and have this access. And this around here is a park. It's a wild park area, so on the other side of town. So it's pretty nice to have this in a kind of an urban area. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, lots of birds out this morning. What else I can say? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just turn this off for now, and if I think of some other brilliant thing to say, I'll turn it back on. So anyway, that's it for now. Okay, back again. It's an ongoing thing. A little bit about the river. Yeah, I just checked the level. It's at 10.5 feet. And a couple of weeks ago, we had some real heavy rains here. The river level rose to almost flood stage, which is about 28 feet. So we get quite a variation of river levels here. You probably really can't tell, but you can see kind of the mud level up this branch that from the high water. Now, the little park I was mentioning that this is over here, it's all Willamette River bottomland, and it's called Minto Brown Park, and it's they've got bike trails and stuff through it. It's really a nice little feature to have here for town. A lot of people use it, but this morning, being a work day, Thursday, I'm retired by the way, and I'm out here. I got the whole place to myself. I can hear the highway from here, but when I hear that roar, I just pretend it's a rapid, so it's not as as offensive as it would be. But yeah, just kind of back of the bay here, kind of looking across at the park. I don't know if you can see the highway bridge there and the old paddle wheeler. But it's amazing, you know, when you're down in here, you ignore the road noise. You know, you could be in the wilderness hundreds of miles away. Of course, this Minto Brown, like I say, is a bottomland. A lot of it floods when on high water, so there's no real development in here other than trails and things. So it's, like I say, it's really a nice to have here. So till next time. Back again. Hope it's not too jumpy. There's a gray blue heron over there. I got this on max zoom on my iPhone 6. But anyway, I forgot to tell you that, like I said, the river level's at 10.5 feet, and for those interested, that right now is 28,000 CFS, so a lot of water. I forgot to look what it was when it was at 28 feet, but I'll tell you what, it's probably twice that. So that's a lot of water. So anyway, I hope this isn't too jumping. You can kind of see that heron over there. So, okay, till the next installment. Okay, I guess to continue on of the tour of the Willamette Slough here in Salem and the downtown park, waterfront park. I don't know if you can see there's a big old blue ball, looks like a globe. Well, originally that was an acid ball, or it contained acid for when the paper mill was over there where those apartment buildings are. And then I think it's last year they opened this up. They built this pedestrian bridge that connects downtown park to Minto Brown Park, and you can access the trails from downtown, which is really nice. Some people didn't like it, but you know, it seems to be popular. Always people walking across it. So, and then usually I cross under the right-hand side of the bridge there, and go further. The slough goes back about another mile past that bridge, and when the water's higher, it's easy to get through. When it's lower, there's a big gravel bar right under that bridge, and you'd have to drag your boat, and I usually don't do that. By the time the water's out low, I'll start paddling upriver. Right now, the water's kind of fast to go upriver very far. But that's that. Okay, I thought I'd just give you a shot looking south down the slough. It goes way back there, about a mile. So it's a good little paddle. Like I say, when the water's high, this is a good place to come. Although unfortunately, a lot of homeless camp along this east side bank, and now there's just tons of garbage in the trees and along this. So somebody in town was thinking about doing a cleanup. It'd be massive. So I guess that's the way humans are. I guess if humans didn't throw all stuff away all the time, archaeologists wouldn't have anything to dig up. But anyway, I don't know how many more of these I'll do. I guess we'll find out, won't we? And back again. Back there in the slough reminded me of an incident that happened a couple years ago. I was paddling back in the slough, and I had to take a leak, and there's a lot of brush and trees and pretty steep, not a lot of place to pull over, so I found a flat spot. Looked like nutrient stuff for hanging out there. Anyway, I got out and did my business, and when I started to get back into the kayak, I had one leg in the boat, and I was about ready to get into the boat when my land leg broke through the top of a nutrient den, and I went down to about my thigh with that leg. And in the meantime, you know, as I went down, my boat leg rolled the kayak up, and then I got a nasty scrape on my shin, and it was bleeding, yada yada. So yes, one reason you bring extra water, for, you know, not just to drink, but sometimes to clean up. You know, if you got splashed some of this water in your eye, or like in this case, you know, I cut myself. You know, I could clean up. I put some, you know, rinse it off with the clean. Once I got back to the boat, you know, in the boat and going, I took a little water from my canteen there, water bottle, and you know, kind of rinsed the wound. Although I didn't get much river water on it, but better safe. And then I got some of the hand sanitizer that I keep with it, and then just rub that on there. So I'm old, so I don't feel much, so I didn't sting, believe it or not. But anyway, then when I got back to the car, then I cleaned it up a little bit more, and put a Band-Aid. But that's, you know, why you carry survival kits and water. That's why you should be prepared, because you just never know. I tell you, it surprised me. One minute I'm on solid ground, the next minute it's like wonk, and the earth opened up underneath me. So that's another lesson to always be prepared, because, as they say, you never know. And yeah, just a commentary. Those pillars you see in the distance there, I'm looking north through the slough, and that's the bridge. Salem Bridge is over the Willamette there. But those pylons, there used to be mills back in here, and they used to tie log rafts up to that. There's some log landings closer to the bridge. Back in the day, the main channel, when Salem first started developing back in the 50s, 60s, the channel used to run through where the slough is now. But then one of the numerous floods, the river jumped and formed a new channel to the west where it is today. So anyway, that's kind of a nice shot there, looking on the slough. Like I say, this is a nice little feature to have so close to home. I got out to stretch my legs before I paddled back upstream and cross the river. Right in here, there's a little bit of a back eddy. I can get just past that big tall cottonwood down there. Then I can cross the river, which you really zip downstream as you're crossing, and then paddle back. Right, panning too fast here. But anyway, yeah, over to the boat launch where I'll take out. So yeah, I'll wrap it up here. That's it for this video, and thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.